Well, welcome back to SFC Live then. The most important headline to come out of that game this afternoon is Sunderland have made it to the playoffs, Danny.
Yeah, that was it, wasn't it? That was the target this afternoon, going down there. Other results wouldn't have been affected if we'd got the job done, and that's what's happened. We've managed to get over the line. Maybe not a convincing performance if we're honest. We weren't quite at it, but got the clean sheet, got the goal, and it was a good goal from Nathan Broadhead. And it's looking like Sheffield Wednesday in the playoffs.
Yeah, we're just looking at some monitors inside our studio at the moment. Rotherham have won finally down at Gillingham, confirming that Gillingham have been relegated, and Rotherham have gone up with Wigan automatically. So where do we start? Let's start by looking back at the game this afternoon then for Sunderland. It was an early goal for Sunderland through Nathan Broadhead, but I guess it's very disappointing, bittersweet that he got the goal, but then had to go off injured, didn't he?
Yeah, he's had to go off, hasn't he? And we'll see the goal. Here it is now, is it? I think bit of play link up. So it just gets popped into Corey Evans there off Bailey Wright, and he's on the half turn. Nathan, just see him opening his body up, centre half, commits, never getting there, and he just drives between the other centre half and the full back, and he's got that composure, hasn't he, Nathan Broadhead? We've seen it throughout the season. It's a lovely finish before Trevor Carson sets himself. Just strokes it home, was he just on the edge of the 18-yard box there. So, and that was the difference this afternoon. As you say, though, Frankie, unfortunately, not long after he had to come off injured. Hopefully he'll be okay, was it next Friday, to step up and be a part of it against Sheffield Wednesday. I think other than that, really, we had very little in terms of working Trevor Carson. That one there from Pritchard distance out, caught it quite well. But it's always just going wide of the angle of the goal. I think, from their point of view, Cole Stockton, he'll be disappointed, looking to add to his tally, 23 goals, give him credit, playing in a side who've just come up, perhaps have very little in terms of opportunity throughout the game, so he can be happy with his tally, but didn't get a sniff this afternoon. I thought Bailey Wright and Danny Bart handled him quite well when they had to.
It was quite physical, wasn't it, back there?
Yeah, it was. I see this one here. It was frustrating afternoon again. How that's not a free kick, I'll never know. The linesman's got to be looking at it. He's pretty much down below us, so how he doesn't see it, I don't know. This one again, this was Fane getting back at Ross Stewart, comes in with a crunching tackle. Ross felt that one, but hopefully he's okay. He did go off, didn't he, Ross Stewart, second half. But yeah, I just think as the game wore on, we had another gear or two, and as I felt we were a little bit sloppy, a little bit casual at times on the ball. And towards the end of the game, they had one or two moments in and around our box, but Anthony Patterson again hasn't had a save to make all afternoon, has he? So, I think it's one of those where you get the job done. You're looking at, in terms of injuries, you're hoping you don't pick up one or two, which looks like maybe we have done. But get back to Sunderland, get the physios working on the boys now, a few massages, see how Nathan Broadhead is, and hopefully he's got his squad to pick from. And it'll be interesting to see what squad he goes with, what formation, and the 11 who get the shirts for the game against Sheffield Wednesday up at the Stadium of Light next Friday. Yeah,
Sunderland did create a few chances late on, despite having no proper strikers on the pitch, if you like.
Yeah, I felt credit to Jack Clark. I thought he'd done okay when he came on, actually, when he played more centrally later on in the game, but he was quite busy and bright when he got on the ball. He was looking to make things happen. See this one here, that was our best chance in the setting off. It's a nice little move as it comes into Alex Pritchard. He could have took the strike on, but he just feeds it back into Patrick Roberts' path, and he maybe just overran it slightly and give the opportunity for Trevor Carson to come and smother it. This one from the free kick, can't just get the height on it, looking to go up and over there. See Carson across his line scrambling for it, but the wall does its job. This one deep corner, isn't it? Again, Carson's handling's good, under a little bit of pressure from Danny Barth. But yeah, nothing real clear-cut in that second half. And I said it there in comms, where for a team who have conceded, 88 goals they finished on, which is a hell of a lot of goals, we found it actually difficult all afternoon to break them down and to play through them. Just that one in the first half, which was the difference.
And that one coming all the way through as well. There was a moment there.
Yeah, you were saying there as we come off air, how could we have changed positions later on? If Morecambe had scored, we'd have dropped down to 6th and Wicker would have nicked in 5th. So we would have been playing MK Dons. But as it is, we have got Sheffield Wednesday. And Sheffield Wednesday will go into the playoffs confidence. They've scored 4 today. So it'd be interesting to see how that one goes.
Let's have a look at the full-time scores then, if we can. Okay, we'll read them through, Danny, then we'll discuss any that you want to pull out. So FC Wimbledon are down, and they got beat as well by Accrington Stanley by 4-3. Bolton Wanderers 4, Fleetwood Town 2, but Fleetwood are safe. Burton Albion 1, Wickham 2, Wickham climbing into the playoff spaces. Cambridge United 2, Cheltenham Town 2, Gillingham 0, Rotherham 2. Rotherham going up automatically there. Ipswich Town 4, Charlton Athletic 0. Then we've got Lincoln City 2, Crewe Alexandra 1. Oxford United 1, Doncaster Rovers 1, Doncaster going down. Plymouth Argyle 0. MK Dons 5, and perhaps the most bizarre result of the afternoon, 3-0 down at half-time.
Yeah,
Plymouth
man sent off as well.
And a man sent off, dropping out the playoff positions. Sheffield Wednesday scoring 4 goals on the final game of the season to cement their playoff positions, which they already had done against Portsmouth. And the final game down the bottom there, Shrewsbury Town 0, Wigan 3. Wigan winning the league with that, and also Will Keane getting the golden boot.
Yeah, so now you see, congratulations to Wigan. Over the course of 46 games, have obviously been the best team. You know, we look at it from our point of view. We've only seen them over 180 minutes, and the frustration is we beat them twice. We beat them in the League Cup as well, didn't we? But no, it's not over 2 games. It's over the course of the season. They've been consistent. At times, they ground results out. And to go down to Shrewsbury today and to get the job done. They have made hard work of it in the last couple of weeks. 2-0 up in the week, as we said. Lost 3-2 to Portsmouth, but they've gone out there today, got the job done. And to Rotherham as well. So, you know, over the season, they've been the better teams. You can't argue with that. MK Dons will feel a little bit sick, you know, to go down to Plymouth today. We thought that was going to be quite a cagey affair. You know, Plymouth not conceding too many goals at home. I think they've not conceded for 6 or 7 games, and then they've had 5 put past them there. So, no, disappointing for Plymouth. And, you know, I thought, looking at it today, they might have been the ones that dropped out of it. They've had a tough run in these last few weeks.
Here's the league table for you. The final top 10 in EFL League One. Sunderland finishing the season 5th in EFL League One on 84 points. Any other season, 84 would have probably guaranteed your playoff position.
Yeah, it's been mad. That's having to graft to get up into, you know, you're looking at Wickham there, 83 points there in the last position. So unfortunate for Plymouth. And even Wickham could have lost today by a couple of goals there on goal difference. They'd have been on 80 and they'd have still got in ahead of Plymouth after that result. But no, we've got all to do. So if we can get past Sheffield Wednesday.
Just a word, Danny, on Alex Neil. When he came in, he had to try and get Sunderland into the playoffs.
Yeah.
He's only lost 1 game.
Yeah, MK Dons.
He's done exactly what he was brought in to do.
Yeah, he's done a great job, hasn't he? Is it, what's 15 games or so he's had? So a third of the season. And that 1 defeat, and he said it himself, he's had to graft, and we've had to put that run together just to get into the playoffs, you know, let alone competing for automatics. We've managed to get in and secure our place on the last day of the season. So, no, give him huge credit, done a good job. And coming at a difficult time as well, coming in off the back of, was it 3 defeats, I think it was, conceding 10 goals. The lads, obviously, low in confidence. He had to pick them up.
Another clean sheet as well.
Get us going again, yeah. So, yeah, we've churned out those clean sheets. He's got us organised at the back. You know, he's mixed it between a back 3 and a back 4 at times. And I'm sure it'll be interesting, as I said there, coming off air, what team he picks going up against Sheffield Wednesday. I'm sure straight away he'll go back, he'll look at that result. I think it was the last game, was it, before the new year when we beat Sheffield Wednesday 5-0 at home?
Yes, it was.
So he wasn't obviously here then. Well, yeah, top of the league. That good performance at home against them. He'll go back and he'll watch that performance, the formation and these type of things, which I'm sure he does, to see which team he fancies putting out against them next Friday night.
Yes, let me just confirm that for you. So the upcoming games for Sunderland are scheduled to take on Sheffield Wednesday at home, and that game's on Friday the 6th of May. So quite a quick turnaround for that. So Friday the 6th of May will be Sunderland's home game against Sheffield Wednesday, and then the second leg on Monday the 9th of May down at Hillsborough, another 7:45 kickoff. You just mentioned Sheffield Wednesday there. I think the EFL would probably have liked us to have met in the final in terms of ticket sales.
Good crowd down at Wembley, yeah, I was thinking
Sheffield Wednesday, you know, big historic club, their first season back down in EFL League One as well. They've got players like Barry Bannon doing the business in the middle of the park. And you've said it in the previous game, if you contain someone like Barry Bannon, you kind of stop them dictating play, don't you?
Yeah, I think so. He's very similar to, I know Alex Pritchard plays a little bit higher up, but Barry likes to get on the ball a little bit deeper, but he ticks them over. If he's on his game and you're giving him time and space, he can pick passes and he orchestrates them throughout the 90 minutes, really. So, yeah, so you focus on Barry Bannon. Obviously, goal scorers, Lee Gregory up top as well. But yeah, listen, I fancy us when we're on our game and everybody's at it and we're turning in performances like we've seen last week against Cambridge, when we know we're at it, we can move the ball around the pitch, then we're more than a match for anybody. I know Sheffield Wednesday's pitch a few weeks ago was a little bit ropey. They actually played Rotherham on Sky. It was cut up and it obviously doesn't suit a passing game as such. It's had a few weeks since then to recover. So we'll have to see. But no, as you mentioned, they're two big teams at this level. Would have been good playoff final, that, but it's obviously not going to be that. But we've got work to do before we can start mentioning the playoff final.
Yes.
We've got to focus on the semi-final first.
Absolutely. Let's have a look at your thoughts then, as we look at the hashtags and hashtag Ask Danny. Cabby's been on. What shape do you think would be most effective against teams like Sheffield Wednesday, MK Dons, etc., Danny?
Yeah, it's a good question. Thinking back to the game at the Stadium of Light, I can't remember what formation we played that night. We were chopping and changing, maybe a 4-2-3-1 back then. But I think it's a case now of how is Nathan Broadhead. He's a massive part of us. And look at his goal again today. Important goals in recent weeks.
Sunderland have lost players in recent weeks as well. Look at Carl Winchester in recent weeks. Dennis Sirkin in recent weeks
getting these lads back.
Nathan Broadhead going off today is an ideal. We hope Ross Stewart's okay. Maybe that was more precautionary than anything else. Yeah,
I think so, because he got clattered first half, didn't he? And he thinks, well, the job's done. We were in the playoffs. You've got to look after him. You've already lost Nathan there. Hopefully he's going to be okay. But you don't need to lose Ross again, because then we haven't got an out-and-out forward in the squad. Jack Clark went and played up there late on. But you don't want to be relying on Jack Clark in two important games to go and be your number one striker. So, yeah, you look after Ross. You assess now where Nathan's at. Hopefully he's going to be okay. He's got, 4 or 5 days of getting him back ready to go next Friday. And in and around the rest of the squad, I think Dennis Sirkin wasn't involved today, was he?
No.
Where's he at? I think it's a calf injury he's got.
I think Alex Neil suggested if Sunderland were to get to the playoffs, he could be involved.
Be okay, yeah. So he's had a couple of weeks off there, hasn't he? And then you've got Callum Doyle. Not sure where he was today. Played on Tuesday night. Wasn't in the squad again today. So you want as much of your squad available to pick from, and then you assess what you feel is your best formation to hurt Sheffield Wednesday and to maybe look after them as well. And it's always interesting. Well, you mentioned before, do you prefer having the first leg at home or the second leg? And you can look at it both ways for me. We're at home on Friday. I was going to say Tuesday night, Friday night.
Friday evening, yeah.
Big crowd in there. Sheffield Wednesday we've seen it when they came up here just before Christmas. They had 5,000, 6,000, didn't they? Disappointed Sheffield fans leaving the stadium that night after that loss. But you get the crowd behind you. You start the game well at home. And if we're getting 30, 35,000 Sunderland fans behind the boys, and they give them something to go off, you can get yourself a couple goal lead. I'm talking in hindsight here. It'd be lovely to go to Hillsborough on that Monday with a couple goal lead. Certainly something to look after. And I'm not saying you go then and sit back, because you get, if you're planning on going to Hillsborough and sitting back deep and looking after maybe a 1 or 2 goal lead, then it's going to be a long evening. But you said to me, is it always better to have that second leg in front of your home fans? It's not always the case. As we've seen last year, we came up short against Lincoln. So certainly in the first leg on Friday night, we want to be at them, try and get yourself a couple of goals and give yourself something to go after. Okay,
let's have a look at another thought here on hashtag Ask Danny. This time it is from Michael, who says, who's your player of the season? Greetings from Belgium. Hello hello everyone watching in Belgium. I hope Sunderland will get promoted. Well, thanks for tuning in. And your player of the season?
I think it's hard to look past Ross. We've said this before. I think his goals, and not just his goals. You look at Charlie last season. Was it 26? I think he got. Ross's 24 this year. Great return. I think at the start of the season, if you'd have said Ross was coming in as your main striker, obviously.
Yeah, we had this discussion last game, didn't we?
Coming in as, not saying an unknown, but certainly playing down in England at this level as well. We weren't sure.
Also looking at the return that Charlie White gave us last season as well.
Yeah, and trying to step into Charlie's boots really, and different types of strikers. We're not going to go over it again. I think what does Ross give you? Probably a little bit more mobility as well than Charlie. But yeah, I always say what I like about Ross is when he's not in amongst the goals, when he's perhaps not firing in front of goal, he brings a lot more. His hold-up play is good at times. It wasn't today, by the way. I dug him out a couple of times on the comms there. I'm sure he won't mind me saying. But usually his hold-up play is good. He wins flick-ons, he runs channels. He looks like lost causes, getting down the channels, but he gets there ahead of centre-halves and full-backs at times. And he brings a lot more to the team, really, and he's that focal point, really, where today, yes, we did have two up top with Nathan up there alongside him, but more often than not, we're a 4-2-3-1 or 4-3-3, so he's that lone focal point. And if he's not on his game, he's not getting hold of the ball, he's not working centre-halves, then we struggle to get up the pitch. But more often than not, he is on his game, and he brings that to the side. So I'd certainly say Ross. I think I'd mention Carl Winchester. Playing out of position at right back or right of those back three at times. I think he's had good energy this year. Not too many players have gone past him in those 1v1 situations. So unfortunately for Carl, we spoke to him on the stream on Tuesday night. He's going to be out now for the rest of the season with his groin. So hopefully he gets back ready for start next season. Dan Neil, earlier in the season, Young Player of the Year. Dan was at it. He's obviously found it difficult to get game time in recent weeks. So there are players throughout the team. You look at Patterson as well, took the gloves, and he's been solid sort of last 10, 15 games really since Alex Neil came into the team. So without digging players out, picking one or two players out, I think as a whole, it's been a good team, solid team performance throughout the season with those players I've mentioned, a little bit of the sprinkle on top of the cake.
So I'm looking at another thought then here on hashtag Ask Danny. This one is from Appletix, who says, if Nathan Broadhead is unavailable for the playoffs, who needs to step in and fill that role, Danny?
I think it's a good question. If Nathan's fit, I think Alex Neil would like to probably go with a two up top, maybe stick with a 3-5-2 and go with him up there alongside Ross Stewart. But if he's not, that might affect him in terms of wanting to change the shape. I think he, again, they mentioned it could go 4-3-3, 4-2-3-1. And try and keep as many of the players as he can in their natural positions. We've seen it in recent weeks, on Tuesday night, Lyndon Gooch, he moved them across to that left-hand side. Today he was out on the right, then Lyndon's moved back to right back later on in the game. You've seen Patrick Roberts today changing flanks. Jack Clark come on, then he moved to the left, then he went through the middle. So we're having to chop and change a lot with, being forced really through these injuries we've picked up. But yeah, if Nathan's fit, I'd certainly like to see him up top there alongside Ross. Yeah, drops in at times. If not, you play the one up top, the three in behind. You've got, obviously, Alex Pritchard, got 80 minutes under his belt today. Yep. He looks like he was fine coming off, didn't he? So, if you want Nathan fit, and hopefully between now and then, he was just feeling it. He hadn't pulled his hamstring, I don't think. He went down, didn't he, once. Then he got back up as if to say, I'll just see how it goes the next few minutes. But unfortunately, he had to come off. So you get the ice pack on him, you get him in cotton wool, and you try and get him ready for Friday night.
Okay, then let's have a look at another thought here on hashtag Ask Danny. This one's from Shadowkeys6, who says, if we didn't lose to Bolton and went on a bad run, do you think we could have gone up automatically, Danny?
Well, it's easy to, you look at the Bolton one, because that was it 6-0, wasn't it? Annihilation down at Bolton that day. But no, listen, it's not just over that. And I've heard a lot of people saying ifs and buts. If we lost to Doncaster at home, we lost away at Cheltenham. There's other games where we've thrown points away. Accrington Stanley, 1-0 up, a few minutes to go, get caught on the counter-attack off the corner. That cost us 2 points. So we're that close to being there in the automatics, but we were in a great position at the turn of the year. But then we fell off. We had a bad run of results, and it's cost us. There'll be other teams as well. Maybe MK Dons have come up just shy with a few points, and they'll say themselves, oh, only if we'd have picked up points there. So that's how it works. But over the course of the season, we fell short. It's as simple as that. We haven't got there from being in a good position. I think the benefit this year is, though, going into the playoffs, is we knew early on we weren't going up automatics. If we're honest, I've heard fans last week saying if we beat Rotherham 6-0 in midweek, then we've got a chance on the last day. But let's be honest, Rotherham have been a solid team throughout the season. They've had the best goal difference, another clean sheet today, I think. So it's not just that Bolton result which has cost us. It's other games this season which we fell short in. I actually looked, I think, in the top 6 head-to-heads, and we were second. I think Sheffield Wednesday had the best. I think we had 22 points against the teams in the top half. This might have been before Tuesday's games when I was looking at it. It's the so-called lesser teams where we've let it slip this season. So.
Okay, let's have a look at what will be the final hashtag Ask Danny of the season, I think. This one's from Kevin. Who is Sunderland's best central midfield partnership, and is the inconsistency in performances down to the regular changes in the team? Well, Alex Neil would always say, Kevin, I think, that he would choose a side who's best fitted to play the opposition, wouldn't he?
Yeah, you get some managers who go with the old, if it isn't broke, don't fix it. If they've won a game, then stick with them. But I think a lot of managers don't look at it that way in this day and age. I think they'll assess, as we said on commentary, they'll assess the opposition coming up, different formations, who is suited. Prime example was Tuesday night. Alex Neil picked a team who he thought had to be a little bit more combative. I think in the middle of the park with Matete coming in for Elliot Embleton. Whether he looks at changing it again to, I think it's, Sheffield Wednesday, who's their strengths? Barry Bannon, we've just mentioned. Does he put someone in there to do a man-to-man job on him, really? Look after him and try and stop him dictating play. But yeah, he's mentioned it there in terms of central midfield partnerships. Corey Evans is perhaps one that will play, and it's who's going to go in there alongside him if we play a 2. If we play a 3, you've got Dan Neil, who's been short of game time recently.
If you could pull out a man of the match today, would it be Corey Evans?
I'd go Corey, yeah. I think it was difficult to pick out a man of the match, but he brought a little bit of calmness at times in a frantic game. It was bouncing around a lot.
Got the assist for the goal as well.
Yeah, lovely ball into Nathan Broady, just that 10-15 yard calm ball just slotted into his feet. And there was one move, wasn't there? Was it second half where he had a couple of players pressed him, lovely little bit of skill, got out of a tight situation. So yeah, I thought he had a good game, and he's been decent in recent weeks. I think certain sections of the fan base have been after him throughout the season, saying he doesn't bring enough to the team, show that leadership. But I think in recent weeks, he certainly has done. Right,
Danny, thanks for your thoughts, and thanks for your hashtags as well, everyone. This season, myself and Danny have thoroughly enjoyed them. We don't know what capacity we were going to be back in here in SAFC Live for the playoff games. Let's just give you the concrete information of those playoff fixtures for you. So Sunderland will play their first leg at the Stadium of Light on the 6th of May. It's a Friday evening, 7:45. And then the second leg will be away, of course, at Sheffield Wednesday on Monday the 9th down at Hillsborough. Thanks everyone for taking part in the post-game programme this season, and for anyone who's bought a matchday streaming pass as well around the world. You've really helped us get this production off the ground in the last couple of seasons, and it's thoroughly appreciated by everyone here at Sunderland Football Club. And Sunderland have kept going till the end under Alex Neil. They've had to in recent weeks, and who knows, they could still go even further. We'll see you soon.